All right, you guys, here we go with the final day, day 3 of the 150th anniversary of Gettysburg. So we're going to be commemorating it here by playing every single day and a major event from that one. So what I'm going to be doing right here is Pickett's Charge. Now, I will again be playing as the Union forces. I will have General Hancock on my side, who was in charge of 2nd Corps. And we've got General Meade here as my ally, who is the overall commanding general of the Army of the Potomac. Now, on the Confederate side, I'm going to have General Pickett and General Longstreet. Okay, so I think the defining moment for Gettysburg is Pickett's Charge. It was something that I remember when I was really little, my dad talking about. I remember him talking about Pickett's Charge, and I had no idea what it was, but I knew it was something like significant because I think I'd heard him say it once before. So Pickett's Charge, absolutely crazy what happened. Okay, so on the final day of battle, General Lee had figured, well, we've attacked them on the right flank, we've attacked them on the left flank, so they've likely gone ahead and sent reinforcements to each of the flank, which would leave the center of the Union Army as the weakest point. Now, what was actually the case here is that was the strongest point of the Union Army. So, General Lee was going to have General Pickett's division and other units as well go ahead, and they were going to march almost 1.5 miles, and they were going to converge on this clump of trees right along the Union lines. So it was just going to be a whole bunch of rebels in one area, and it'd be really, really difficult to repulse. But because it was such a large distance over a wide expanse, what they were going to go up against was long-range Union artillery. Now, artillery is really, really devastating at long range. You know, you've got like, like if the cannon balls and everything like that, just solid shot. That's absolutely devastating, not just for what it can do to a person, but what it can also do to the morale of everybody. All these explosions going on, you hear people yelling, just, literally being torn apart by these things at long range. As you get closer, then you get shrapnel, things like that are being shot right above you. And then when you come into close range, you've got canister shot, which basically turns the cannon into a giant shotgun. So, you could have a line just like we're seeing with these units right here. You go ahead and you shoot the cannon, and there's a big chunk of people just missing. So it was a devastating thing. And over that long range, without really too much artillery support themselves, what eventually happened is the entire rebel force got decimated. I mean, we're talking about losses over 50%. It was so bad at the end of Pickett's Charge that General Lee told General Pickett to go ahead and gather his forces before they left Gettysburg. And General Pickett looked at General Lee and said, "General Lee, sir, I have no division." Like, that's just how, devastating it was. They had been eliminated as an effective fighting force. So the advantage was completely with the Union throughout all of this. They had protection. They had superior artillery. There was no surprise or anything like that. So what the Confederates had to endure through was just terrible, and that's what really turned the tide of the war. So General Lee at the end, I mean, this revered general who everybody absolutely loved and respected would go up and down the lines, and he was like, "It's my fault, it's my fault." But even then, a lot of the men weren't willing to accept General Lee's apology because he was just so well revered. So, whenever they do a reenactment of Gettysburg, one of the things that the thing that they always do is they recreate Pickett's Charge. Even, with the last, reenactment here by people who actually fought at Gettysburg, they reenacted the charge by General Pickett and his forces. So that's what we're going to be doing right here. It's very, very difficult for me to be able to do this because I have to have 2 AI armies charge me and have 1 AI army hold their position like I am. And as you can see, General Meade is doing anything but holding the line. So, I'm kind of thinking I may not be able to hold this for too long. That Confederate army across the way from me, they're just holding their position as well. My artillery's opening up on them. We're trying to weaken them here, but I really don't think I'm going to be able to hold this for long because it looks like they have a defensive line. Meade is doing a pretty good job at attacking them, I'm not going to lie. It's completely disorganized, though. That has been, like, the one problem with this the entire time is the AI has been horrible. But, oh well. That's why you have a master tactician. So I've got my flank secured. I've got a plan on the right flank if all goes well here. But, oh, what is this? Which general is charging right in between the two armies? My artillery, I saw him, so I opened up, you know, on him here. It's General Longstreet. Oh, man. He's going to get really close to my line. They're going to open fire. Oh, General Longstreet is done. Yeah, so that's going to weaken the Confederate army significantly. But I think that was the side that I'm going up against and not Meade. So I might take advantage of this here as quickly as I can. Get my forces here grouped together. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to meet the Confederate forces here. So I got to get these guys in a fair enough distance away from the Confederates as to where I'm not like running halfway in between me and their range, so that way I'm not sustaining as many casualties, but I got to be close enough where I can hit them. All right, so they're on the move. This is good. This is a good time for me to be charging them. I just got to find a spot. That's going to be good enough. Let's just go with that. So I'm going to leave the artillery where it is. Again, no cavalry for me in this one. I always go with like 2 to 4 units of cavalry whenever I'm playing this game and have formed an army. And 3 units of artillery, but not right here. I'm going with long-range artillery as well. I gave the short-range artillery to General Meade because I figured he would be the one who would be getting up close and personal with these guys anyway. It turns out it was a smart call. So on the right flank, as you saw, I've got a couple of reserve units, but the right flank is secured by the end of the map. So I figure one thing I might do is I'll either kind of wheel around and have you know, enfilade fire there along their side, kind of hit them on you know, two points here. But if they try to go ahead and engage in hand-to-hand combat, like if they charge my line, then I'll have 2 forces which can charge my right flank, take them out, and then kind of sweep across there too. So we are in position. Confederate forces are pretty disorganized right here. So we're going to have a huge stream of musket fire. So these guys, oh, it is not pretty for them. They're not shooting or anything. They're going to be gone pretty quick. All right, so now that we've moved up to the line here, it looks like all of us are engaged except over here on the left. Okay, we're all right. I'm going to make it these guys can't fire without me telling, and I'm going to move them back here a little bit, and then I'll make it so they can fire. But General Meade's force is right in between mine and the enemy, so I'm probably shooting him in the back. All right, these guys, I don't see any threat on the right flank, so I am going to go ahead and put them over there and see if they're within range of the combat engineers. Okay, so now it's a matter of just holding this line. The Confederates are going to have to organize themselves. Again, it's my left flank that I'm worried about more than anything else. Yeah, General Meade got a little too close, I must say. Okay. So he's going to fall back. My artillery... It says that they're engaging the enemy. I just don't know who right now. All right, these engineers should retreat pretty soon. Man, they are all right there at my center. I guess this is kind of like Pickett's charge. They're all converged at one point, and they may all attack at one point. Now, the cool thing about the charge is the Confederate forces did make it to the Union lines, despite everything that they had to go up against, all the artillery they had to face. They did make it to the line, but were eventually pushed back by the superior force. The fact that many of them had been killed, a lot of leadership too. So it was really tough to organize anything, and just the manpower just wasn't there. So I don't know. Things could kind of turn around. I'm worried about the center. The left. Immediately, I'm more worried about the center than I am the left. So as a precaution, I'm going to go ahead and refuse the line on that side. It's not 90 degrees, I know, but they're going to retreat. Those engineers, well, instead of having just 2 units over there, we're going to make it 4. We're going to go a little bit more than a 90-degree angle that they're going to come around here. So, kind of trap them in a little bit, too. I would like to be able to hit them from 3 sides. Oh! Pickett's down. Alright, so this should be pretty good for me now. Meade is safe. I've got my general safe here, my general is safe, General Hancock. Dang it, get out of this view, I don't like it. Alright. So, I can't cycle through. There we go. Okay. It's kind of nice when it's not the mod. That's a pretty cool angle, because you can actually see the bullet fire and where it goes to. But not right here. So I am seeing more Confederate units are starting to retreat. The center, we've got 2 units by General Meade who are, or 3 units from General Meade who are kind of pulling away. There's one more there. They're lining up. These guys need to run. I don't like making them run here unless it's absolutely necessary, because that difference in, overall energy and stuff like that can play a huge impact on the battle. So we're probably going to lose a few guys along the way because I neglected to have them run earlier. But all right, they're going to try and get into formation here, but I don't know if it's going to be in time for them. They've suffered casualties already here from my artillery, from what Meade's forces were able to do earlier. Oh wow, it hasn't really been too bad. So this this right flank, this wall that I have, these guys are going to be pushing down the main body of the force. Just kind of like a wall. And they'll be engaging as they go, because I don't know if this main line of mine is going to be able to hold. It all depends on the damage that Meade's been able to do. Meade is basically beaten. His forces are retreating. There's just a handful of them left. They're retreating. They're so disorganized. I mean, they're not even in formation in any way whatsoever. Okay, so I'm less worried about the center now. Yeah, oh yeah, look at that. So the ones that are closest to me are retreating. It's basically just a mad dash from the center outward. So we were able to hold. Now it's a matter of securing the left. Okay, so these forces right there on the left, not my elite troops. But as we saw in day 2, we were able to actually do a lot of damage with these volunteer units, which are the weakest of my army. But man, it looks like we're going to win this one. It's a matter of time, I think, right now. Look at Meade's one force. They're just charging everybody. That is awesome. Okay. So is there anything I can really do to support Meade right now? I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to send my artillery, though, to kind of open fire on them. All right, we're still good. They're going to, I think, retreat here pretty soon. Okay. So it looks like one unit was able to go ahead and regroup. They're trying to attack my extreme left flank. It's volunteer against volunteer, but the amount of casualties that I've sustained is nowhere near theirs. So I should win that one without a problem. Looks like one unit in the Confederate center has been able to reform and will try to attack us again. So I may launch my artillery over at him. But then there's just that one unit over here on the left. Confederate regular infantry. I might try and take them down, because I know this will take a while with anybody else here, so. I mean, I just want to scare them, really. Okay, so there's those engineers. 3 units left. Meade's move forward to attack those guys from the side. They're not going to last too much longer. All right. They're out of the fight for good. Wonder if Meade's going to charge at him. Yep, Meade's charging. Look at that. Gosh. Who said Meade is a conservative general? Who says he's cautious? Look at that. He's just charging. So we ended up winning this one. Gettysburg is done and over with. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys watching. Maybe you learned something. That would be kind of cool, too. But I do appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Maybe I'll do some more of this a little bit later on. I don't know. But if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all that great jazz. But thanks again, you guys. I sure do appreciate it. And as always, I hope you have a good one. What? How did Meade get more kills than me?